Hello everyone, we are playing the Veil fantasy version in the city of Kriusthos with the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is an online community, which you can find more below, which organizes games like this with a special focus on indie titles. They also have the Gauntlet Con, which is also something that you can find information about on the links below. So if you are seeing this at the time it comes out, just check out up to the end of October. So last time on the Veil Fantastic, we had an encounter with the shadow creatures, the iconoclasts that chase us, purpose, order to the point of extinction. And we started to find a bit more about our construct friend. And at the end, we dealt with the iconoclast temporarily, but we know that they're going to be coming back as long as they have an anchor into the city. Unfortunately, that conflicts with the agreement that the group reached with one of the, let's say, prisoner bound agent of the empire that was smuggling the iconoclast inside the city, assuring their protection and the protection of their people. However, while they are around, the iconoclast will always find a way to creep into the city proper. But that is a problem for next week. This week, we're gonna see how we can deal with the more immediate problems. Uh, and I'm going to start by reminding everyone that we have the lines and veils. So we have there things that we should not cross, or that if we're going to be introducing fiction, they should be kept off screen. And also the X card. So at any moment you're not comfortable with something, you type on chat, you say it aloud, you just signal to in some way to the camera, and we're gonna retcon that part and continue. We also have script change. So if you are doing a more tense scene in which there are things that might be making you uncomfortable and safe, you can say, okay, let's switch to script change so that we can curate this carefully, because I still want to play this. So you can fast forward certain parts, rewind, cut certain parts. So basically you have access to an editing tool so that you can take control of the situation and protect yourself. And that's it. I think we're gonna start by introducing each other and our characters in the order of the character keeper. So that means we start with our architect.
Hello, I'm Marco, and I'm playing Gaius Agrippa. I am the owner of a hot spring bathhouse where I conduct my business, which is usually related to magic and the manipulation of the veil between our world and the magical realms that touch us. And a lot of people, a lot of my customers use my services in order to um, uh, create contracts either with each other or with denizens of some other reality or realm. Um, the above ground portion is a tavern, uh, which Lagaya operates, and Vic is part of an order that uh, deals with contracts and keeping oaths. And I have come in conflict with uh, Vic over that. We have an outstanding issue that when I was fulfilling one contract, it violated another contract, and we don't know what that other contract is. And so I have agreed to repay that contract or repay what I owe in that debt, but we don't know what it is. And so hopefully we'll get to look into that this evening. Is there anything else anybody wants me to mention or bring up? Okay.
Okay, next is our empath.
Hello, I am Maria. I use she, her pronouns, and my character, Ligaya, our empath, also uses she, her pronouns. She is the tavern keeper slash principal person who is in charge of the bar and like the tavern area of Gaius's bathhouse. As our empath, she kind of is literally emotionally manipulative, like where she can see people's emotions and sort of know what emotions happened in an area and also like take those emotions and sort of change them. And she believes that she needs to be trying to use her abilities to help people navigate whatever strong emotions they're feeling, which as a bartender, she seems like she would be able to kind of know what people's lives are. She, at some point in the past, helped someone, or I think it was Vic, navigate or comforted him through a difficult life event, potentially relating to our previously thought dead person, or maybe dead but is still present, unsure. And Gaius Agrippa has seen her use her powers on someone without their consent or knowledge in terms of them trying to start a fight in her tavern, and she shut that down. So that's Ligaya.
Okay, next we have our Honorbound.
Hi, I'm Toby, and I'm playing the Honorbound Vic. Vic wasn't in the last session, so his story hasn't really got started yet, but just from his background, as was mentioned already, he works for an order which enforces the contracts that are made with the beings that live beyond the veil, and therefore he works quite closely with Gaius, who kind of oversees those contracts, but Vic is the enforcer when they go wrong. Yeah, at the very start of the story, when Vic was last on screen, we saw him basically striding down the street, ready to enforce some minor contract or other. I forget what it was. Some body anyway had violated some minor thing to do with a land purchase. But he was interrupted by seeing in the crowd somebody whom he thought he'd already killed, if I understand rightly, but seems to be back again. But yeah, what else to say about Vic? He's a bit of he sees things in black and white somewhat. So his fundamental beliefs are that he doesn't choose which rules to enforce. He just has to enforce all the rules. He's bound by his duty. He always does things in public, and he tries not to make any really close friends in case one day he has to kind of enforce the rules against them. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how this overlaps with the story that you guys have already been telling.
And we cut back exactly to where Vicky was seeing this face in the crowd. Now, Vicky, two things. Do you have, how do you feel? What is the first emotion? Not even what you remember, because for Ligaya related reasons, you might not even remember the details. What is the first emotion that comes to your brain and that permeates your reaction?
I think, I like the idea that I don't really remember the details, but if I understand rightly, the way Legaia...
I think the cat muted you.
Thanks, Leo. Yeah, sorry. So I mean, I like the idea that this is what Legaia has kind of worked on me so that I don't have these strong feelings anymore. But I guess like it's more that she muted my emotions than that she wiped my memory. So I think probably what will happen. This is something that I came to terms with a long time ago with Legaia's help, and suddenly the emotion comes back. And I think the first reaction is just sheer panic. Like, come on, I resolved this. This was all dealt with. This was done years ago. What the hell is going on? And then very quickly after, feeling panic because Vic is very much not used to feeling panic and used to being in complete control. Then it's like the determination of like, this has to be fixed. This must be fixed immediately.
Yeah, speaking of fixing immediately, you have something installed in your eye that might help you with that, right? Why don't you describe it?
Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the cybernetics as it is in the cyberpunk version. So this is some kind of magically implant, which is his eye. So my eye allows me when I look at somebody and scan them to basically read their bio features. So I can read their fingerprints, their body signature. It's an identity test essentially. So yeah, I think that's exactly. So the situation here is that Vic is already on another job, minor as it may be. He's already set out in public to go and resolve this other issue. So I don't think he's immediately going to stop and drop that. I mean, he's the kind of guy that will want to follow through on his obligations. But he immediately makes a note that this problem has arisen, and I think almost without breaking stride, as he walks past this figure he's seen, he turns and tries to do a very quick scan to figure out if this really is the person that he thinks it is.
It is. It's no specter. It's no illusion. You read biometrics, and they are a living individual biometrics, and yeah, they are who they seem to be.
How long ago did I kill this person, or think I killed this person?
Let's ask Legaia. How long ago it was? And how long ago did you make it seem after you were done?
I think it was like, I think some time has passed, so a year maybe around then. And I think it was like, I'm imagining that right after the obligation was broken and you had to do your job regarding this person, maybe that's like you came to the tavern like a little messed up about it, and that was when I did my emotional manipulating, maybe.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of imagine my belief that I never make friends in case I have to enforce an obligation against them. I think that might be a reasonably recent belief. Maybe that's something maybe that's the resolution I came to working with Legaia after this incident a year ago, when it was someone that I felt close to and I had to kill them, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do my job anymore. My life is ended, and you helped me with that. So yeah, so Ludo, absolutely, like panic. This is undoing a year of calm work.
Yeah. And the face turns away and it seems to be disappearing into the crowd. So what do you do now?
I want to put down a marker of some kind because I want to come back and follow this trail as soon as I possibly can, but I don't want to drop what I'm doing now. Apart from anything else, like one of my beliefs is that everyone has to see justice being done. This is why I'm wearing this stupid costume and striding down the middle of the street, right? Everyone knows what I'm going to do and I can't just break off from it. So I don't know, is there some kind of way. I guess I just try and memorize the exact scene, exactly where I am, what happens now. Maybe as I'm striding off, I try and look where this figure is going through the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you give me a prod? Wait, you are afraid, right?
Yeah, I think it's leading towards fear, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you give me a probe with scared? So spike it.
Okay, I don't understand what's happening here. Did you see the roll?
I saw the log, so it says 7 in the log.
7. Okay. Yeah. That's a total 7. Okay, so 7.
Sorry, I was moving my dice out of the way because I didn't want it to be there, and then it made yours move.
Okay, so it's a 7.
No worries. It's a 7.
Okay, so you get hold 1, so you can ask one of the probe questions.
Okay, just give me one moment. Okay, so are you telling the truth? What are you really feeling? Blah, blah. What do you intend to do? As in, where can I find you later is what I'm getting at there. What do you intend to do now?
You get the feeling that they intend to pick up exactly where they left. So they intend to do exactly the same thing that you had to put them down before. Unfortunately, you cannot for the life of you recall what it was.
But I know it was bad, right? Because I had to kill them.
Yeah, you had to kill them.
I think again, without breaking my stride, I turn and I point at this figure or this disappearing figure, and I shout out to the crowd, in the name of justice, stop that person. I'm trying to convince people to basically hold them for me.
I'm trying to decide between sway or divert.
Yeah.
Which options would you prefer to happen? That is basically my deciding factor now.
Sway is a bit strange because it ends up with me like owing a crowd of people a favor, which is a bit hard to do, right? But divert is more about misdirection. We could, I think divert makes more sense, right? Because then if I get to choose things like I can create an opportunity for someone else. So
how are you feeling when you shout this?
Maybe moving towards angry. So this is going to be mad, right?
Okay, so
because with the revelation now that they're about to do whatever it was I stopped them from doing last time, I'm like, no way, no way.
Yeah, either mad or confused doesn't make sense. So go ahead.
Yeah. My mad is also 1. So 11. Yeah.
Okay, so you get 2 picks. No, 3 picks.
3 picks. So my actions create an opportunity for you or someone else. So I think my shout, somebody in the crowd, not somebody I know, just somebody, grabs at this person to hold them as I've instructed. I glean a flaw or weakness. And then I suppose I'm able to slip away. What I basically want to do is now go as fast as I can, resolve this stupid situation at the farm that I don't care about anymore, but I have to do, and then come back here. So would that make sense to choose, like, I'm able to slip away, meaning I could just kind of get out of here quickly?
Yeah. Okay, give me a link to the NPC that held them. Also, when they are being held, you notice that they don't have that their arms are made of some kind of fluid metal, some brittle fluid metal. So give me a link to the new NPC that just held your dead friend.
I think maybe it's somebody that I who I enforced an obligation in favor of in the past. So somebody who had a complaint, right? And
Okay.
And
So
they
how do they
recognize
look?
him.
How do they look?
It's an older guy, bald, skinny, tallish. I think probably he's in the lower classes of the city, and was grateful to me for enforcing an obligation against someone of a much higher class. And so I think he catches my eye and realizes that now's his chance and grabs this other person with the weird metal arms.
What's his name?
Aaron.
So how do you feel about Aaron? Now that he captured your dead friend?
Honestly, I think the way Vic's mind works, like, he's done. That's it. The obligation complete. I have no emotions whatsoever about him. He's just another member of the public. I can imagine that Vic goes around the city kind of pissing some people off and making friends with other people in their minds, and Vic is completely oblivious. He just is like, okay, fine, next job.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that you're feeling selfish. So that would be with Matt. So spike Matt and roll with Matt to see what is your relationship with Aaron.
Okay. I have a 13. I'm wasting all the good rolls now.
Okay, so you actually, yeah, because you did a favor for them. You actually have a very good relationship with Harum. So he actually pins the man now and drags him and just nods at you for you to go along. And
Great.
you go down to this business. As you go back to that, where do you think that Aram is keeping them prisoner?
I suppose there are two possibilities. One is that it could, I think maybe, let's say this, let's say Aram lives nearby, and this is the place where I previously enforced the obligation in his favor. So he has like a small kind of a room or a couple of rooms for him and his family in quite a highly populated area of the city. And I think probably he'll just take this guy back there and know that I'll meet him there shortly.
Okay, so let's do your bond.
So when you begin a session without a task involving broken obligation, choose one from below. The MC will work this task into the fiction as appropriate. Okay. Safeguard or endanger.
Okay, so as you are doing this, how do you know when someone to you has contracted a very hefty obligation?
That's a good question. I kind of imagine that I get that kind of information from Gaius. Like, he will just drop me a line and say, this needs to be resolved now.
So you don't have any tie to the veil that gives you some kind of hint. You only depend on mortal information.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I am supposed to have like an area of the veil where I can, yeah, I don't know. I maybe Gaius, maybe I meet, maybe we without having to physically meet, perhaps you can communicate with me through the veil. Perhaps you can come to this. It's a sanctuary, I think it's called, right? Nice sanctuary.
Mm.
I'm fairly easy about that. I don't know. What do you think, Marco?
Yeah, like maybe some kind of communication spell. I send an illusory bird, and it'll land on your shoulder, and you have conversations with an illusory bird as you're walking through the city, and then it flies back and tells me what your reply to the messages are.
I like it.
Yes, it must be a duck because there's a duck growing out of Toby's head.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's basically what you got. So you got the information that there is something or someone that Gaius needs you to safeguard, and that this is being carried the weight of an obligation. So where do you rendezvous, the three of you and Valers?
At the bar, and you probably noticed that the duck, well, let's make it a duck, was kind of slurring its speech.
This is a drunk duck.
Yes, clearly. And when you get to the bar, Gaius is 3 sheets to the wind. I'm throwing coins to a bard who's playing a little harp and telling stories with musical accompaniment, not quite singing.
I think Ligaya, you'll walk in and you see her. She's like surreptitiously watering down the drinks that she's sending to Gaius. Like she's not at the point where it feels like she needs to be using her powers yet, but she's definitely like keeping an eye on him from behind the bar and just like, let's just put some liquid in here that's not alcohol and delivering it over to wherever he's sitting.
How normal is this, Gaius? Like, does this happen often, or am I going to be surprised?
And you're probably not terribly surprised, but usually this is after the day is done. When work is over, now it's time to unwind. Are we starting at like almost immediately after the last session?
We can be starting partying after the last session. Yeah.
And this message that I sent to Vic, what is that about? Like, what am I calling him for?
I mean, you're calling him because of Veles, because Veles needs to be settled and protected on the city.
Veles? I forgot what that is.
The guy from the guy that was trying to sign a contract.
Oh yeah. We said that we would protect him. Right.
Yeah.
So he's probably kind of nervous looking because one of the people who agreed to look out for him is kind of hammered. And basically, my explanation is, don't worry, Vic will be here soon. He'll take care of it.
So I think Vic strides into the bar, still wearing his ridiculous white robes and the huge bow, and sees Gaius and walks over and says, "You sent me an inebriated waterfowl."
That's a fairly accurate description. Would you like a drink? Yeah, let me
You
pour
finished work
some
early
in your.
today.
Yeah, we had some excitement earlier.
I think like I will just walk over with a drink and like put it on the table and then sit down and be like, yeah, Gaius isn't dealing very well, apparently.
Something we need to talk about, Gaius.
I had to turn down a fairly sizable bag of silver, and I think an offer of a second, because a contract that I was being asked to fulfill, I got the distinct impression was not going to be honored. And so I had to turn the money away. And now there's a very angry iconoclast who is threatening Velas and a number of his associates.
Not going to be honored is a light way of saying a terrifying emotional void decided to try to make a deal. And it was a very good idea that you didn't accept the money to make this deal.
So are my services required?
I think so. I'm trying to work out, not knowing all the details of your order, if this does fall in your purview. Because this is a person who, in order to honor a contract, did not enter the contract. So no contract exists, but the other party is now threatening physical harm or whatever it is that thing does. Out of character, did we? I don't remember what happened with the conflict, and we defeated them, but they just keep coming back, right? Wasn't that what happened?
If by the attackers you mean Wolf unloaded hot high-speed metal shards on them until they died, yes. But yes, they're
Oh
gonna.
yeah, wasn't it like surprising? Like I had no idea he was about to just destroy the thing, and
Yep.
and I got splattered in blood.
Yep.
Sorry, I was just checking my sheet. I think Vic switches to a different tone of voice, and you recognize it. This is when he's reciting basically the rules of his operation. And he says, when someone visits an injustice upon society, the penalty is execution.
And Vel is Alarmed by that. Who has to die? I had to die?
The perpetrator of the injustice must die. I'm not the judge, I only carry out the sentence.
But it was the statue that killed it. Does the statue is the perpetrator, or is it property of someone, and that someone is the perpetrator?
I think I look to Gaius for more information about what my next duty should be. Vic wasn't here for this.
The golem was acting a divine, wasn't it a divine directive? He was told to destroy this thing which was in danger to the lives of everyone in the city.
Insofar as him being a demigod counts as a divine directive. So yeah, he deciding to do that was a divine directive. And
Okay.
as far as you are aware, you think that. Because he did not convey to anyone that, hey, I'm actually created by the gods. I'm a child of the gods. He never said.
Oh, okay. So then I'm bringing wrong information. I have to look what Pearl's character's name was.
Purpose.
Purpose. So, sorry, I was clicking on the wrong tab. So Purpose, Lagaya, and
Woof.
the golem, a wolf, and I all detected that this being was wrong. Then it was just a void, and yeah, it was going to, it hadn't violated a contract, but we were able to determine that it had no intention of honoring the contract, that it was using the contract as an excuse to get its foot into our realm. And so I was in the process of telling it, we're not honoring this contract. I don't want your money. This isn't happening. And the golem destroyed the creature. It said it was a thing of evil, and it was one of the beings that was coming to destroy, that had destroyed Purpose's people, and it wanted to. It was here to try to kill her.
And Val's had additional clarification. I am bound to a valid contract with that creature, but that was a contract that I entered under coercion. And for all intents and purposes, I still did not break it for good and will.
A golem is merely a tool. One does not punish the tool, one punishes the wielder.
Then who yelled at Woof?
I think you can see Vic starting to kind of like put his hands on his bow.
Yeah, I have no idea who. I don't know that any everybody was wielding the golem wolf.
I
He
mean,
seemed to
the
have
person
fingers on
least
the
aware
pulse.
was Gaius, even. So if there is someone that was not yielding, it was Gaius. Because he was the least aware.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, I was completely shocked. And
While Purpose
no idea
literally
what
told him, to hunt the iconoclast down.
who told him to hunt the iconoclast now?
Purpose. I don't know how
Oh.
much any of you knows that. Maybe Ligaya knows.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. I think Ligaya doesn't agree with Vic necessarily that Wolf is a tool, because I think she can sort of like, I'm trying to remember if I could sense his emotions, but I think that she has a sense that Wolf is like their own like being. So even though she and Purpose went and talked to him about, I think like individually through various magical methods, notified him that there was a not good thing in the bad house. Like it was his own decision that he made or they made to attack the iconoclast. So I think, yeah.
But so just out of character, the iconoclast is here to kill Purpose, right? To hunt her down.
Well, yes, we can say that. But on a more abstract sense and a more concrete sense, on an abstract sense, it was here to infiltrate the city and to get a foothold so more iconoclasts would come in. And on a more concrete sense, it was here to pay to have their contract with Velez officialized and to hand over a lot of silver.
But the contract didn't happen. So I think as far as Vic is concerned, like this is straightforward. There's no contract violation involving Gaius because Gaius refused the contract. That's fine. But the iconoclast clearly is already visiting an injustice upon society. And what's more, he is threatening, I was going to say Vic's friends, but Vic doesn't really have friends, but Vic's associates, right, on whom we depend on each other. So that's straightforward. Then the iconoclast must be ended.
So what happened to the silver? Because Velez did not claim it, and the iconoclast is gone. So the silver is just laying there. What happened to the silver?
I thought the silver belonged to Velis' people who had. Didn't you say they had rounded up that money to pay for this?
No, this is something that the
This
Empire
came
wanted
from
to.
So was that coming from the iconoclasts? Is that
No,
the
it's
iconoclast
the
building?
Empire. It's carnage from the Empire, given to Velez by the Empire to pay for this. So Velez.
Oh, not our city, but a neighboring empire.
Yeah.
Um,
That is working with the iconoclasts.
the way Gaius looks at it usually is, I would say, is I don't know whose this is, but I know it isn't mine.
So let me get this straight. There's just a big pile of silver on the floor, right?
Yeah, 10 creds worth of silver on the
10
table.
grand. Wow, okay.
Yes, it's an absurd amount of silver.
It's in a bag, not a giant pile.
Okay.
Correct. Probably some of it spilled over the fight, considering the table was covered in gore and metal.
Can the guy like direct a servant to gather it up and hand it out outside the tavern for the benefit of humanity?
Yes.
Like, if it's not ours, and it seems like taking it would legitimize some sort of oath an obligation we don't want to have, I think she just wants to.
Can we just return it to the empire that sent it?
That's definitely a possibility.
Or the
I
evil empire
guess.
that wants to exert its power over our city.
Well, the city is able to remain independent, but of course it exerts influence and pressure.
I like Ligaia's idea.
I just want to I don't know, direct some of our barkeeper or bar, tavern, bathhouse servants to somehow evenly divide it.
Will they be dividing it amongst themselves or to the poor?
Yeah, we're gonna see that. Why don't you introduce us to the servant that you tell them to do this? What is their name?
Titus.
Okay, how Titus looks like?
I think it's a teenager, like a younger, like barely older than like a boy, kind of like very skinny, lanky, tall, with kind of like wide eyes, and like he looks like it, like basically someone who's just, he might be like the son of one of the older servants, maybe. Maybe like his clothes are aside, like outside of, I don't even know if we have a bathhouse livery or uniform, but I think that his other clothes, if he has any, are probably more threadbare. So he is from like the lower classes of the city, like from out, maybe he is one of the people that would be getting some silver if he were out on the streets as well.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Titus?
I think that if I told him to gather up the silver and distribute it, that I would at least think that he would do it, like that I would trust him enough.
Okay, so you are trusting. So
I am trusting.
Spike peaceful and give me a roll.
This is peaceful? Okay. That is a 9 plus 2 is 11.
Yeah, so Titus holds you on high regard and does as you say, and actually argues a bit with other servants that want a share of the silver, and he does not even take some of the silver for him.
Aww.
He just hands it. And now you have a large crowd outside of your building.
Yep.
So anyway, Velis is looking around nervous at you. Well, I still want to get my family, at least, and ideally my whole people into the city. How do I should go around to do that?
These are like refugees, are they?
Well, yeah, they would be. Well, they moved in first place into the Empire as refugees. The Empire created. And now they are third-class citizens exploited to make deals with the Veil. And basically, he wants to take them into the city. But that is hard enough making the voyage. And then, so far, they don't have anything prepared to welcome them on the city. I mean, Veles does not even have any place for him, because the original plan is to bring him to the sanctuary. But for iconoclast related reasons, that's a bad idea. So he does not have even that.
Vic is such a bastard. I think Vic simply says it in a quiet voice. All those who join us here obey our rules. One of our most sacred obligations is that if someone protects you from harm, you owe them an equivalent sacrifice. Beware of this when you choose from whom to ask protection.
I asked it from the strange girl, the one that is not here. They offered me this to assure my doubts. They promised to protect me.
And are you ready to make an equivalent sacrifice in return? In obedience to our law?
I already did. That was the terms. I shared the information that put me and my people in high risk in exchange for that protection.
Very good. Then the deal is between you and the mysterious girl. He means purpose, right? I presume. Yeah.
Yeah. Which she did not introduce herself to him. She just barged after the fight.
I mean, Vic is much more concerned about this. He's got two things on his mind currently. One is the iconoclast, who definitely he owes a crossbow bolt through the brain. And the other is this freaky man. Sorry, the freaky man in the crowd.
Are you referring to Wolf or Bellis? Wait. Just.
Oh no, the man. No, I'm referring to the guy in the crowd that I thought.
Oh,
should be dead.
If we look at Vic, can we tell that you are thinking about something aside from this obligation? Like, are you visibly nervous or distracted?
I think
Gaia has to see more, right?
Yeah. Gaia I think Gaia's in his current state of inebriation, maybe not. Gaia definitely, and it depends how much you remember of what happened before. You might even have an idea that something has gone wrong with the kind of Jedi hand wave treatment that you gave me.
Okay. Because I was wondering if it's obvious enough that she can see it without using the flow or the veil, then I think she'd take a harder look at you and try to figure out what that was. Otherwise, she would just be like, oh, that's just Vic, like his level of thinking about obligations. But if it is distinctly obvious, I don't know if there's a thing where I would look. I think she'll look at you a little more intensely.
I think it's pretty obvious. I think you probably haven't seen Vic looking like personally disturbed like this since the last time this happened, which was a year ago, right?
Okay. To figure out which move this is. It might just be analyze, actually. Or
analyze or probe.
Or absorb.
Read a person, whatever that is.
There's search feelings, but that might be for like a location. Is that what the correct way to read that? Yeah, that's emotional residue of an area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will just probe. Okay.
How do you feel about the Vicky's demeanor here?
I'm gonna say scared.
Okay, so spike, scared, and probe away.
What happens when I hit all 5? Because I'm getting real close.
When you hit all 5, then you need to you get +1 on that one and -2 to all others. So
okay.
you to alleviate?
So that is an 8. To
Okay, so you have one question to ask from Vic.
What are you really feeling? I don't know if that's a useful question to ask.
Is that what you're asking? Let me.
Yeah, I'll just ask that. I don't know if it makes sense for me to ask what do you actually, I will ask what do you intend to do? Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I really, right now, I want to understand what the hell's going on, not just with the fact that this character has reappeared that I only kind of half remember, but also with, I think Vic is very much not used to having weird, conflicting, scary emotions in his head. He's used to things just being clear and like, okay, now this person needs to be ended, blah, blah, blah. And suddenly there's like, there's something wrong here, something I don't understand. Something's happened in the past, which is going back to haunt me. I don't quite remember what it is. So what he intends to do is try and figure out what's going on. Probably actually by, as soon as he can, taking Legaia to one side and saying, oh, help. And or by going back to Aaron's house and slapping the guy around a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get that feeling that something is nagging on Vicky's mind. So do you pressure Vic to tell exactly the details, or Vic shares where he wants to go to see Aram and interrogate this person?
I think I pressure Vic, but not really pressure. The guy is too nice for that. Let's see. I think she'll get up and go back to the bar and leave an opening. Maybe.
I think maybe Agrippa gave you the excuse by showing you his empty goblet and asked for another drink.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, it was like kind of cutting out a lot. Did you just say that Gaius would ask for another drink? Okay. Yeah, so she's just gonna get up and like make like eye contact and sort of tilt her head toward the bar. And like walk back towards all of the drinks and start making the most complicated looking thing ever. So that'll take a lot of time.
I think Vic is not very good. So he gets the message and he's like, oh yeah, I should really, I was supposed to Legaia, and then he just walked over to the bar.
Okay, that was breaking up also. Sorry.
It's Vic being awkward and following you to the bar.
Okay. And I think she will just like fill a glass of water and like, or do we have glass in the Bronze Age? A ceramic cup of water, a bronze mug of water, and just like push it across the counter and be like, you seem not good right now. Like you were a year ago. Why? What's happened?
I'm not sure. I hoped you might be able to tell me. Tell me more about a year ago.
A year ago, you walked in here with stains on your white outfit, blood on your hands, and you were distraught. Really badly distraught. And you asked me to help you.
Why do I not remember?
I don't. Is it that you don't remember, or is it that you just don't have feelings about it? That was out of character, I guess.
Oh, I see. Yeah, good question.
I would argue that, because you had no feelings, then your brain started erasing it as irrelevant.
Right, yeah, this is just something that happened. Never mind, forget about it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Ligaya will answer. Because I think, well, you asked me to make it hurt less, so I did, or I tried to. And time takes away things that don't hurt or don't have as much feeling to them, so that might be why it's gone. But it's back.
It hurts again. There was a man, I knew his face. I don't remember who he was. I knew that he should be dead. I killed him already. He was in the street. I guess I have to go kill him again.
He was your friend.
I don't remember.
It's nothing at all.
I think probably Vic has like a few fragmented kind of images which are starting to come back. Maybe of him, maybe an image of him like killing this guy. I don't know. I imagine him kind of like strangling him.
Oh, nice and personal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I think I don't know if Ligaya wants like Vic to just go away and instantly go back to killing this person who was his friend, because that seems not healthy for anyone involved. Because then you have to like do the whole forget everything thing again, and then the cycle just will repeat. Maybe, who knows? So I think she'll be like, don't you think you should, figure out more before you just go off and kill him again?
I can't do that without your help, Ligaya.
Do I have a way of knowing things? I say to myself. Okay, cool. Let's see. Well, because I have that move where I can sort of look at the area and figure out what happened there, so it might be a good thing for Ligaya to go with Vic. So I think she'll say something like, okay, I will help you. See if we can reconstruct what happened. Because honestly, a year ago, you were so broken that the words coming out of your mouth that day barely made sense. You were speaking words about obligation, but a year ago, I don't know if we had more information than we do now, except that you were so much in pieces. And I don't want to see you go down that way again. So we can find out. Just, I'll have to get Titus back from the crowd and make sure Gaius is conscious at the end of this. And then, yeah, we can.
I'm so parched.
And I think as she's saying this, she's like finally filling up a tankard with 90% water, 10% wine. Because Gaius is gone, right? Like he won't recognize the difference. And like walking back over to Gaius, and we could probably take Gaius with us. I don't know.
It's less dangerous than
Oh,
having
we're
alone.
fine.
Yeah. Oh God.
Just like tell Titus, make sure the man doesn't make a whole bunch of ducks to curse around this tavern.
I mean, maybe guys can give you some link to the veil to keep you connected.
Yeah, we could do that. I'd say I'm feeling pretty joyous at the moment.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to the interrogation.
Oh, can I ask one thing real quick?
Okay, sure.
So there's a special move from the empath.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I like automatically have this because it's not one that has a checkbox, but it says when the empath shares a moment of intimacy with someone, be it physical or emotional, you gain +1 flow, and you may ask them any one question from the ease move, regardless of whether you have it or not. Does the conversation at the bar let me use that?
I will say yes.
Okay, I don't know what the ease move is.
Yeah, so you get 1 flow and
Okay. So, okay, the ease move. You may ask the following questions. What do you wish you could tell someone? If I asked you to blank, how would you feel? This is a cool move. I should have taken it. Let's see. What is, I guess this is towards Vic. What makes you feel the most peaceful?
This is like generally like in life.
I think so. It's usually this move is used when you use the prove move, and it's called ease. So I think it is sort of.
I see. So the most peaceful, honestly, I think probably this is Vic at the end of the day hanging out with probably you, probably Ligaya and Gaius, and like knowing that there's no kind of outstanding obligations in his mind that he's supposed to go and enforce, and he can just hang out and be a normal person for a bit, which, because he's quite hard on himself, happens not so often.
Very rarely. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if that would be.
The answer is you, Ligaya. You make me feel peaceful.
Is that because I'm emotionally manipulating you all the time to feel peaceful?
I think basically, yeah, but it works for me, you know. Whatever gets the job done.
Is it real?
Okay, let's take a 5 minutes break, then we're gonna cut back to the interrogation.
Hi.
I'm hoping that like exiting and coming back in fixed my weird connection problems.
It certainly gave you back the duck.
Very importantly, it's like sticking out of my head like a unicorn horn.
Okay, so we go to Adam's house, and what tells Ligaya and Vic that this is the house of someone very hardworking that does not spend a lot of time at home.
I imagine that with like Ligaya's access to the flow, when she looks at it, she might like see an emotion that is tied to that, like surrounding the house maybe, or surrounding aspects of the outside. I don't know what sort of emotion is tied to hard work. Maybe some loneliness tied in with I'm looking for the wheel that I have lost. And I don't know. But there's some sort of like emotional cloud surrounding it. Sadness and nurturing.
And how about Vic? What does he see that tells him that?
Well, Vic is much more practical, right? He's not reading the emotional clouds. I think he's just looking at physical clues, like I was thinking Bronze Age. I was going to say he doesn't clean the windows very much. Maybe you can tell he doesn't live there all the time because there's piles of mail outside. But I'm not sure in the Bronze Age whether we had glass windows and regular mail.
And Gaius, what is it that can be found languishing around the house casually that is revealing for one of Alam's vices?
One of his lies?
Vices.
Vices. There is, I don't know if this is, there's an opium pipe. And I think that had something to do with the promise that he broke. It was because of his addiction that he was driven to break his oath, and he's apparently heading right back down that same road.
Ah.
So you find you cross the home and you're going to the colder underground division in which food is stored, and you can see tied against a post is the man that was captured, and he seems to be lying there, peaceful, head down, and he does not seem to be reacting to most of you, only slightly too weak in some partial recognition, but does not say anything.
Vic says quietly only to Ligaya, It's happening again. I remember this scene.
Do you think you had him? Was it here, or specific, or is it the him being bound part?
Sorry, your audio broke up a bit. I heard the second half, but do I think I had him what?
At Aaron's house? In the same location?
I think Vic just means like the same kind of scenario. I don't think it literally is this venue, but like the idea of him being there, restrained, Vic striding in. I think Vic says, I know what happens now. I take my knives. I speak the words of judgment. I kill him.
I think Ligaya will like circle like Vic's wrist, kind of like gently restraining. I don't know if he lets her, but she's gonna try to do that. And she'll just be like, no, wait. That's not gonna happen this time. Unless it has to, but I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, Vic will. You can feel he's tense, right? You know where he keeps his infinite daggers, as it says on the character sheet, and his hands kind of twitching. But he trusts you here. Do I remember this guy's name?
Does you?
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, I think Vic. It just comes back into Vic's mind, and he says, "Luke."
The man seems to shake its head a bit. That name, how do you know it? And his voice is raspy and tired.
We've been here before. And I think Vic looks to Ligaya as if to say, like, it's okay, trust me. And then if she'll let him, he reaches down for one of his knives and takes it out.
I will probe this interaction.
Okay.
Go ahead. How are you feeling?
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be scared, which is like all 5.
Okay, so
So-
you enter in all-time scared state.
I know.
So
Oh,
you're
sorry.
spiking.
No, it's okay. I think I can deal with this because I have emotional manipulation powers. So that means I have +2, or wait, what does that mean?
That you get +1 on
+1.
being scared and -2 on all of the others.
Okay, if I already have 1 in scared, does that make it 2? Or is it just...
Right. So just mark on the box next to it.
Okay, so is it temporarily 2 now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that was weird. It did something and then it changed. That's a 7 +2 is 9.
Okay, still one question only.
Let's see. Oh, I guess I don't know if I really need to do this. Do I trust Vic? It's a good question. Actually, can I use this to probe Luke instead?
Sure.
Yeah. What are you really feeling? What is he really feeling?
It's very confused and apathetic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
You get the feeling that he's not really aware of what is happening and why.
Okay.
But he slightly recognized when I used his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, he recognized me in the street and turned away. I'm saying it's out of character.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ligaya trusts Vic enough to let go of his hand so he can do the thing with a knife. Because I don't know what will happen if you kill him.
Yeah. Cool. So Vic takes out one of his knives and crouches down in front of Luke, or who I think is Luke, and kind of with a finger on his forehead lifts his face up so that he's like, we're like face to face like that. And he says, "You remember this knife, don't you?" And he just kind of holds the knife and turns it in front of his face.
I do. As I remember you, but why would I remember you?
Because you remember what I do next with the knife.
That's understandable, but should I not feel something? Should I not be angry at you? Should I not be afraid?
I love that both Vic and this guy are in this exactly the same situation. Okay. Yes, you should be very afraid. Where have you been since we last met?
I just remember being gone and then being back.
When I saw you in the street, where did you come from?
The place of the dead. I remember waking up in the catacombs and stumbling into the light and wandering the streets looking for a familiar face.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, where's Gaius when you need him? Gaius, is your duck watching? Can you see and hear what's going on?
I'm okay with having followed along with you guys, unless you specifically would have dodged me and left me in the bar distracted.
No. Please be here. Please be here. This seems like
Okay.
this is much more your area than mine.
So here's what I want to do. I don't know what move will define it. I want to probe Luke, or basically I want to cast a spell. I want to grab a piece of the veil and use it for magic, so that I can detect whether or not he has a connection to the iconoclasts. I'm looking for the influence of those beings on this, what claims to be a reanimated corpse. And you said its arms are made of liquid metal?
Yeah, like mercury or lead, but not quite so.
And this wasn't the case last time, right? It wasn't the case when I killed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what this guy is attempting to do now?
Well, that's kind of what I asked. Was um, I'm trying. I don't know what move it would be, but I want to examine loot for any connection to the iconoclasts. That kind of magic that they were using, that shadow void magic.
Yeah, I think that's a lift the veil.
Okay.
So how are you feeling?
I think I've hit that maudlin drunk stage. So I'm going to go with sad.
Uh-huh.
This is a depressing situation. It's killed my buzz a bit. I was enjoying myself back in the bar, and here we are with something that's a little bit more real than I was hoping for.
Okay.
But my
Yeah.
sad though, I'm kind of used to this point, so I get a +1 on that. And should I put a spike there?
Yeah. Okay, so roll to lift the veil with sad.
So with the +1 in sad, I get a 7.
Okay.
And I obviously am doing magic. I am
Yeah.
using hand gestures and speaking incantations. And,
So you focus on the arms, and you realize that the arms, they seem to be congealed emotion, so very similar to the pact implements like Vic's eyes, and they seem to be made from veil and shadow stuff. And you look to see if there is a connection to the iconoclasts, but no. Instead, you get the connection that something similar to the energies that you get from wolf, something more preservative. You get the vague impression of a bound between Luke and something that reminds you, gives you get the same vibe as that you get when Purpose speaks of the book, or when Oof seems to be lost in its contemplative moments. You get the same vibe from
so this
coming
is
from
not
the.
a vibe of dread and blackness.
No, it's like, you get the that's, something nostalgic almost, like the repetition of old memories. You fail to get a very close hit, but you're getting a vibe check of that.
I try my best to convey that feeling to the others. In that I was looking for a connection to the iconoclasts, and that is not there. Those unusual arms are very similar to how all items work, such as your eye or this wand I pull out of my robes. It, it he feels more connected to Purpose's order and to Wolf than anything else. That was the energy, uh, the way it felt when it came. And then the glow in my eyes kind of fades as my spell goes away. Do I need to restate any of that? Was I breaking up?
Vic stands up and steps back, and I think instinctively steps towards Lagaya and puts his knife away. Maria, maybe this is an opportunity for you to do some emotional chisel.
I'm trying to think.
I have a suggestion, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I was thinking maybe if we go with the original offense came from him being an addict, if we could somehow, between our various powers, kind of combine something, do a ritual or something, and suppress his need for that, then we can keep him from making the same error, and then start investigating why he's connected to Purpose.
I thought that it was the person who owns the house who was the addict, but not Luke.
Oh, okay.
But
that was Adam, right? The guy on the street?
yeah, the one who
Oh, okay.
Vic convinced to apparently kidnap and tie up a random person.
And then disappear. It's gone to work, I guess.
Such sway. Okay.
I mean, he is languishing on the upper floor, peeking out just to see that you don't do a murder on his own.
Oh, okay.
We'll try to keep anyone from doing murders. At least the guy will. I don't know about the other two. Okay, so how do I do emotional manipulation?
I mean, you can absorb stuff with the flow, so you can absorb something from them.
Yeah.
But that's not less manipulate. Well, it can be manipulating as if it is taking something away. So yeah.
But that would just affect.
What is our goal? I don't know what we're doing right now. Because he's tied up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he committed a crime.
Or at least Vic told us he committed a crime.
And now he's back.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it again yet, but you think he probably will? It seems kind of vague.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the drink, but I don't,
I mean, I think Lagaya's there because she's helping Vic deal with his past and present emotions. So if we have a goal regarding Luke, I think we look towards Vic. Oh, I should try to absorb whose confusion? They're both confused.
True. Maybe. I think it will work either way.
Okay. Then I will. Oh, but let's see. What am I? Am I? Do I roll for this? Yes. I will continue to be scared because honestly, I think Ligaya is. Or am I not scared?
Okay. So you are absorbing from whom? From Luke.
Which of Luke or Vic seems more emotional /
Luke.
confused at this state? Luke.
Way more confused.
Okay, then I will absorb from him.
Okay. So you need to absorb scared. So you need to.
Okay.
Yeah. So because you're rolling with scared, you remove one box.
Okay.
And now roll scared. And you're going to be taking even more scared on you.
Oh, it's just like a loop of scaredness. That's 9 plus. Is it still 2, 1?
Yes, it's still 2. Until it decreases back to 0, it's going to still do that.
All right, so it's 11.
Okay, so you have 3 picks from the absorb move.
Well, they aren't aware of what I'm doing. I don't spike out scared some more. And I don't really have anything where I can use up flow right now, so I will completely clear out their emotion spikes or fill up their emotional spikes in peaceful.
So Luke seems to steer and get a recognition. Vic, you don't understand. You did not understood. You just hunted me down because that's what you were told to do. And you still don't understand, do you?
I understand. So you've heard Vic say this kind of thing lots of times before, but he sounds much more uncertain than he normally does. He says, I understand enough to know my duty. I'm not the judge. I just carry out the sentence.
How long it has been?
How long it's been what?
Since you did it.
To you?
Yes.
A year.
And you still don't understand. Well, what you gonna do now?
What I'm going to do is use my move, the Art of Pursuit. When you assimilate the information you have on a target, roll on a 10 plus gain 2, and sometimes I gain 1, and then I get to learn the target's weakness, learn what security they have, learn their weakness and strength, learn what makes them feel secure, makes them feel scared. Does that make sense?
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I think finally starting to get back into the powerful mode where I'm much more comfortable, because this is now a little bit less weird, right? I'm starting like, okay, once again I'm doing my job. This is okay. I'm going to find out what he's done, and then I'm going to kill him, and everyth's fine. And maybe not the kill. We'll see.
Okay, so Spike and
yeah.
And
okay. So I'm rolling plus 2. 2d6 plus 2. Roll. I have a 5. Ouch.
Ah. So you realize something shocking that breaks your confidence. As soon as you start looking at him, you start looking at the details of look and how pale he is, and how slow his breathing is, and how heavy his chest movements are, and you realize one thing: Luke is dying, and he's dying fast.
Okay. Unless either of you stops me, I'm gonna try and get some answers. Okay, just interrupt me if this isn't what you want me to do.
No,
Especially
I'm
the guy.
saying,
Yeah.
if have you conveyed to us the knowledge that this man is dying? Is that obvious to all of us, or is that really only something ridiculous?
It will become very obvious in a few moments. So far, only Vic knows.
Did Vic have like a physical, emotional reaction to finding that out?
Oh yeah.
Uh, I think Ligaya is gonna step closer so she can like try to grab him in case he, I don't know, takes his knife out and deals a blow. Because I think she knows that Vic's emotions are fragile, apparently.
No knife, but Vic takes a step forward and basically like picks up this guy as much as he can, saying that he's tied, and holds him and says, "Tell me who you are and where you came from today, and I will ease your passing."
Okay, this is the first time Gaius realized that we were here to kill somebody.
I'm sorry to ruin your buzz further.
Is there a way of helping him so that we don't have to go down this road? I mean, he was already punished for the sentence was carried out for the crime he committed a year ago. He hasn't done anything yet, so I don't think you're under obligation to carry out a sentence that's already been carried out.
And I think when Ligaya sees Vic like physically hauling the guy up, she's gonna stick like a calming hand on him, and I'm gonna try to absorb the mad from Vic. Just in case he tries to. I don't know what this does mechanically. Honor?
No, I mean if
Oh.
Vic is thinking if he is obligated or not.
Okay. Then I'm gonna roll, I guess. Scared again.
But what are you doing exactly?
Oh, I'm trying to absorb the mad spikes from Vic.
Okay, good. Okay, so keep going scared.
Yeah.
Clear a spike.
Yep. That's an 8.
Okay, so choose 2.
Uh,
You absorb all of the mad, so V clears all the mad spikes. And you
yeah.
get mad spikes.
Okay. So I take the mad spikes. And I still choose to?
Yeah.
I completely clear out all their emotion spikes. I don't know what that means. Is that like all of the emotions, or is it just in that one?
All.
All.
On that one is default.
Okay.
Big, yeah.
So I also lose my scared and my powerful. I just become like calm and neutral again, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, man, such calming. And they aren't aware of what I'm doing.
Okay.
They're not. Yeah, I don't want Vic to be aware that I completely removed all of the emotions, like maybe, or that I used the flow to do it.
Okay, so Vic, you feel yourself getting more reassured of yourself, more. You find your center and you align yourself according to it. Now you can look at the situation with fresh perspective. So you're going to do an honor roll to examine the situation, and you can roll however you choose to feel about the situation.
And the honor roll, sorry, is this a move?
Yeah, it's one of your moves.
Oh, one of my moves. Oh, yeah, of course. What if you're reluctant to enforce the law or penalize someone? Okay. Okay. I'm not sure that this is the situation here, though. I mean, I'm not sure that Vic is refusing or reluctant to enforce the law or penalize someone, because at this point, he recognizes the guy is about to die anyway. And I think, by the way, now that he's calm, he will say to the other two, he's dying. We only have a moment. And like Gaius said, you know, like I already carried out the sentence on him, and there's nothing more to enforce. I just want to know the answers. I want to know where he came from today, so we could go and check out what the hell's going on.
Okay, so give me an analyze instead then.
Okay, and now I feel, well, I guess after what Ligaya did to me, peaceful. Which unfortunately I'm not very good at, so it's -1. So it keeps clearing my. Okay, let's see. 2d6 -1. Go. For 6.
You seem. First, you are finding your center, but then you start to feel just out of touch. It's like usually when you have a target, you know, you go into this hunter automatic mode of, you know, act first, think later, but you find that your instincts are somehow dulled, and you are shocked to find that you are taking so long to react that before you can get any read of the situation, Luke just falls down dead.
But Vic has no idea that this was Ligaya that drained him, right? So
Nope. He just thinks that he lost his edge.
I step back. I think I mutter something under my breath. And then I turn to the others and say, we need to figure out what happened here. And I think at this point I will explain, like I'm feeling centered and calm again. And I would just simply say, okay, a year ago, I remember that I killed this guy. He was definitely 100% definitely dead at the time, and he didn't have the weird arm thing going on. And now here he is, and I know that he wanted to violate an obligation again, but he didn't have a chance, and now he's dead.
Does he look like a year-old corpse?
No. He looks like a living person with
Except he's dead.
currency and dead.
Can I pierce the veil to find out what the cause of death was?
Sure.
Like he just, because it's not like Vic stabbed him or anything. He just
Yeah.
fell over dead.
Yeah. So lift the veil. How are you feeling?
I think I'm still sad.
Okay. Keep going sad.
So that's a 9, which is I guess a middling hit.
Yeah, you start looking around, and you're getting the vibe that, like the metal arms are not the only thing wrong with the body. You look around and you get the vibe that underneath the skin, not everything might be behaving like on a normal living human. The way that the torso seems to fill up, the way that it seems to have collapsed the chest afterwards, and the indentations of the skull, they seem a bit more fluid than mold on a normal corpses. So you get the feeling that the metal arms are not the only weird thing about Luke's body.
So I'm going in a weird direction, but it feels like since this was magically brought back, we have enough time for me to like get the mechanism working again by pumping some veil into it. And take a piece of the veil and use it to manipulate the real world to bring him back.
And how will you do it?
So then maybe he'll be alive again and we can get to the answers that we're hoping for.
Yeah, this definitely can't go wrong at all. This is an
No.
absolutely foolproof plan.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
So, do you try to remake his body into a veiled environment?
I was thinking reconfigure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So,
Yeah, so I
but
want to drag a bit of the veil that seems to have the correct vibe that I felt before. So I put like magic to like magic and enhance and strengthen that in this body, and hopefully he wakes up again.
yeah, I think Ligaya was doing something in the reaction to that.
Can she help me?
Sorry, I was saying that it was not really planning on doing anything to Gaius because I don't think I see that he's planning on doing this. Unless there's something.
I'll say it out loud. I'm gonna see if I can bring him back. This magic.
I think you're gonna sense a very powerful spider
Yeah.
that starts playing God.
Yeah, that is kind of Gaius feeding his addiction.
I'll be a benign God.
I don't like that.
So there's something in reaction to this.
Yeah. I keep having to like look over my moves because they're all kind of weird. I have a question again. So does hooked on a feeling come after an absorb move, or is because they are, it says when you suppress or manipulate an emotion in yourself or someone else that you can see, remove one emotion spike. But to suppress an emotion, does that mean that I used absorb first?
Yeah, or some other way.
Okay.
Speaking to the negative, that's definitely one.
Okay. Well, I will try to absorb Gaius's power addiction. And I think it looks like, I don't know if there's like a physical aspect to absorbing really, but I think I'm just gonna like kind of quizzically look at him and be like,
I've
acting
only
like,
got like one spike in powerful so far.
yeah.
I'm
Or is it?
indulging. I'm not full maniacal mode yet.
But it's still an emotion.
Yeah.
Luga is an utter hypocrite. She's like, I don't want other people to have emotions. I'm just gonna be super sad about everything.
So are you still sad or scared?
Or scared. I think she is. I'm trying to remember.
Or maybe are you heading towards powerful now? I mean, you've been running.
Well, once I do this, I will take your powerful. Yeah, I think okay. No, what is concern? Is that scared?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm still scared.
Okay, so you're still scared. So reduce that spike.
Yep.
And roll.
Well, that's a 7.
Okay,
so
you pick 2.
I'm gonna take clear. So I cleared his powerful and it becomes mine. Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
So
And
that's,
then
you get one powerful from it.
yeah, and then I am. I'll take one flow because I don't really want to. Actually, nah. Everyone is just gonna be an emotional flatline. I'm gonna clear out or fill up all of your emotion spikes.
Yeah, and then you can do hooked on a feeling. So you can put 2 spikes on another emotion.
Mine or hers?
The target, so yours.
You're on mute, Maria.
You have 2 peaceful, and you know that I did this to you because I didn't take the you don't know that I did this to you option.
So as you are doing this work, you feel this change and you feel your eagerness to do this growing more serene, and you know that it was like Gaia. How does a Gaius react?
I think I just went. I'm a bit confused because I thought I was saying I'm going to help save this guy, and then no, you know what? I think I take that as a sign that she has strengthened my resolve to help, but I'm doing so more logically rather than as an emotional desire to.
Okay, so roll reconfigure. How are you feeling?
I think Powerful went away, and now I'm on peaceful.
Okay, so go with
Because
peaceful.
that's what she spiked in me, is peaceful. So I feel this calm peace, and
Okay,
so that I
again, and go ahead.
$11.
Okay, so you get all three. So you don't get feedback, the change is not noticed, and the subconscious stays repressed. So you twist Luke's body into a digital, a veiled environment, and you find yourselves in what seems to be a catacomb, a deep catacomb full of statues. You can see effigies of Luke, uh, like as far as your eye can see, standing on alcoves, looking at you, and they seem to be turning their heads towards you, and they seem to be again confused about what happened. No, you are all in this landscape now. He changed the landscape, and he twisted the veil that was on Luke's body to create this. And you can see that the different alcoves underneath the statuary, they are filled to the brims with scrolls. It seems that whatever was animating Luke's body, you now followed it back to this place. Or at least this place is a simulacra of whatever it is that is Luke now.
I don't know if I can use this on a digital environment, but I would like to search feelings and try to reconstruct emotional residue.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally inside someone's mind, so
Oh,
it's a
there's
great place to do that.
okay. I am. I did. I will say that I'm feeling somewhat powerful at this point.
Okay, so you're gonna roll plus minus 2.
-2. Ooh. Okay. Well.
So how much is your power? Full?
It is 1, so I'm rolling with -1.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. That's a 6. -1 is a 5. Whoops.
Okay, so how about does Gaius help? Because you made this, so it's very easy to make this easier.
Can he help enough to push it up by 2?
2.
2? I thought you had the 6.
No, I forgot to add the -1.
Okay,
so
no,
it's actually 5. Yeah.
No, you cannot get there. Okay, so clear all your scared and the spiked, and mark 1 on powerful, because you got out of your scared, letting fear dominate your emotions. You try to get a vibe, but you are hit by a massive feedback, because you have been using this pretty much non-stop for hours. You have been in contact with the flow, so you were adapted to that. So it's like you were paddling on a river crossing, and suddenly you get with the same openness, you are just dumped in the middle of an ocean, and the feedback is terrible. It just overloads you. So you're gonna take 2 armor piercing harm, as you are just tortured by these strong residual emotions. I mean, it's just you open it to something that it's way too much blood than you can
I
contain.
don't know where to mark harm on this character keeper.
It does not have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there just one kind of harm, or are there multiple?
Two.
Oh, okay. I'll do it on my paper version.
Yeah, so you just take this massive feedback. And how does that manifest psychically? Because this is physically, I mean, because this is a massive damage.
I think it's like a crushing headache, and like her face twists, and she kind of like her hand flies to her head, and like I think she just sits down where she's standing, or where she was standing.
Vic sees this and immediately kind of takes a step towards her protectively. Like, he would like to fight off the enemy, but since there is none, he just kind of stands near her and tries to look like he's being helpful.
I think Gaius didn't notice, because you described there were all these scrolls, which sounds like answers to a mystery. So while you were reading the emotions of the room, Gaius was heading for these scrolls and looking to start reading and seeing if he could find any clues. And I don't think he has any idea that's going on behind him.
And I think Ligaya like waves an arm away, like, I don't think Vic can do anything really. So she's like, go figure out your mystery. Like, this will fade, hopefully.
Yeah. So you are now on this landscape, and Ligaya seems overwhelmed. And you are filled on the company of this statuary that seems to be trying to tell you something.
Gaius, do you think this... I have a move that this is the move I tried to use before and it really didn't work, the art of the pursuit, that when I'm hunting a target and I stop to take into account everything I know, I can possibly like discover their position or weakness or perceive threats and stuff. Might this count as that kind of situation? If we're kind of going through this kind of maze of this guy's mind?
Yeah, you can use that to try to navigate the catacombs.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm kind of in protective mode. I guess powerful. So I mark powerful and I roll +2 and I go. I've got 10, but how come Ligaya's dice come up saying Ligaya next to them? Oh, there's a label field. Okay, sorry. Anyway, 10. So I can choose. Hang on, let me get the move again.
You can choose 2.
2, yeah, from the options. So discover their position or weakness in their life to exploit in order to do so. So yeah, like what is in this guy's psyche that we can use to get to the bottom of what's going on?
Okay, so you start to study the place, and you get the feeling that while everything around it seems to be Luke's mind, there is some energy, some heat emanating from the place that is coming from something else, something that is supporting him, giving the powers for it to be manifest, including to get a corporeal form. The analogy would be like you could sense that there are pipes on those walls, or on a more setting sense, Vic can feel the heat emanating from the hypoclaust underneath the catacombs. So Vic knows that there is a source of power feeding Luke, and that if that can be severed, Luke will be no more.
So Vic is worried now because now that he's calmed down a bit, thanks to freaky Ligaya, he's putting two and two together and thinking, I know this is something to do with the iconoclasts. This body seems to have been resurrected deliberately with the purpose of luring me in, right? This is not just a random person who was being powered. This is someone I had a very deep personal connection with that's popped up suddenly in the middle of town, knowing that that would get me here.
You can assume that, and that would be a good assumption. But unless you get... So I'll say, unless you get any information that contradicts that, that is a good assumption for Vic to have.
Yeah, sure. I'm not trying to establish the truth, just saying like that's what Vic has started to think. Like,
that makes perfect sense. Yeah,
someone is after me, or at least using me to get after what they want to be after. Which means I've still got one more question from the Art of the Pursuit. So I'm going to choose the second one. Perceive what security they may have or what kind of a threat they are to you. And I'm thinking now about like me personally as well as the group. What's the threat to me?
So you just realize that to you personally, this will make your job a nightmare, because you just realize that whatever is feeding Luke, whatever is maintaining it, it can do that to other people. So imagine if it does to another person you mark for that, and it just keeps popping them back. And you realize that this can just destroy the order of the city. As you know, punishment loses all meaning, because this just seems to be whoever is killed this, whatever it is, just keeps bringing them back. So basically, the society will not be able to heal after someone is being punished, because people being punished keep popping back and do not seem to be any repentant for what they did. So you realize that this is just going to be making impossible to deal with criminals.
And this is a fundamental challenge to my belief that justice must be seen to be done.
Yeah.
And then also, whoever is doing this is violating one of the obligations that I hold most closely, which is that when someone visits an injustice upon society, they have to be executed. I think I will say something like that to the guys. I think I'll just say, like, this is not just about us. This is about the security of our world.
Was that to Gaius? Or Ligaya?
That's to both of you.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
how much Ligaya is listening at the moment. We have to stop what's going on here.
Do we get, I'm sorry if I missed this, do we get the sense that it's the iconoclasts, or is that just all guessing?
I don't know if Gaius shared, but Gaius, from the first time that they lifted the veil, they were 100% sure this is nothing at all like the vibes that the iconoclasts have.
Okay.
In fact, you said this was more similar to Purpose's book and to Wolf, right?
Yes. There
And
is a feeling of
I still
nostalgia.
feel the same.
Or you feel even stronger this. You get the feeling this is like a memento for the dead. You get this, of recollection, of preservation. Those feelings that you had initially, those vibes are insanely strong.
I will certainly convey that information. I don't know what to do with this information.
Well, Gaius, this is your world we're in now.
It's in a way, it's Luke's world.
Oh, yeah, okay. Can we speak to these statues? I think I walk up to a statue, I pick one at random nearby, and I walk up to it and I start demanding answers. I think I feel like I'm speaking to Luke, but I'm asking, like, what has done this to you?
What do you mean? This is me. This is what remains. This is what it preserved. This is what it had stored.
Is this Luke's voice?
Yes.
Okay. Is it just the statue saying it to me, or is it all the statues? Just so I know how creepy this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might say that. I don't say this lightly, Luke, but you don't deserve this. You had what you deserved. I gave it to you. Your debt is settled. You have no obligation.
And again, you don't understand.
Help us understand.
You fail to see the potential of this. You fail to see the deity of this. You just don't understand, just like you did not understood 1 year ago.
Anybody got anything else to say? I don't feel like this is Vic's strong suit.
I'm agreeing with him at the moment because I'm also not. If the order and operation of our society hinges upon the influence of the iconoclasts, and these entities are opposed to that, I need to know more before making a decision, because I don't know that I don't want a connection to the iconoclasts. I felt them as really wrong. So if that's what is behind our society, maybe society needs to change rather than doing whatever it takes to preserve it. What is in Purpose's book? Her name is Purpose. What is her purpose? I think we need. How about these scrolls? Is it just memories of his life? Is there information to be in?
Do you want to open one?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you give me what is it? Why don't you give me a risk move?
Okay.
How are you feeling?
don't know. I'm on the hunt for the answer to a mystery. This is where I like to be, and I have clues in front of me that I can read through. I don't know if that counts as peaceful or powerful. I kind of like the idea of pushing the peaceful because it would be funny to spike peaceful. But I think powerful makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay, so roll the risk with powerful.
Woo-hoo! 5.
So the thing with the scrolls is you created an artificial veiled environment. The scrolls, they might seem like scrolls. You can interact with scrolls. But the problem is that you realize what kindly Gaia realized it the moment she tried to tap into this realm. Everything is part of the flow. And you just open direct access into the flow and directly into your retina and directly up to your brain. For a moment, you get to feel like Howley Gaia does all the time. Unfortunately, you're not prepared at all for that. So you're going to take a massive psychic feedback, and you have two choices. One, you either retreat to safety and you take minor damage and the place survives because it's being maintained by you, or you take it all in and you take massive damage in order to sustain this place. So you can realize that you are getting overflow by the flow and cut the connection, or you can force it through.
So by accepting the damage, I hold on to the opportunity to gain more knowledge about the topic.
Yes, and these spaces need
I'm taking the hit if it's going to help me get me closer to the solving the mystery. Absolutely.
Okay,
I'll take
so
the masses.
yeah, so you take 3 harm or piercing harm, and
Definitely got a massive nosebleed.
yeah,
And it's
and
my brain.
the walls of the catacomb seem to flicker as this happening, and it starts to lose shape, and the stone walls that are supporting you, you kind of feel sinking in as if you are on quicksand, as it seems to stack out. And then finally, when Gaius managed to stabilize, then you are spat out. And yeah, you can analyze you can analyze these, not by looking into the scrolls, because you know that now that it's an idea, but you already got the knowledge. Now you are trying to sort it out. So how about you try to analyze what you saw? Do you still feel powerful?
You think so? Okay.
I don't know. Do you still feel powers? Like, yeah, I'm winning this. I'm fighting, or are you starting to genuinely fear for your life?
Yeah, I think I'm scared. I
Okay,
just fears. I've never been hit like that before.
okay, so go with scared.
And unfortunately, I'm not the best under these kind of stressful situations. I'm at a -1. 5. You've had a number of failures in
Yeah, I wish this would give you XP.
a row.
So, were you ever inside the sanctum?
Of Purpose's Sanctum?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
So, you are aware now of memories from Luke, walking around the sanctum, reading from the book, tending to it. And you realize that Luke was a member of the Order. Not only that, you realize that there is a powerful shadow next to the sanctum, and that you have failed to notice it. But you saw Luke entering it. And you are aware of something else. That even now, even on this simulacrum, you are being observed by something. And by opening your mind to it, it also took something from you. You don't know how much or what, but you get the feeling that you have been read. Like someone just flipped you open and started taking out copies. And you get the feeling that whatever happened to Luke just happened to you right now.
Oh dear.
Can I keep that little bit of information to myself? That whatever happened to Luke has just happened to me?
How's your poker face emotionally?
I will get
I
if
was
that is.
trying to function while afraid, and I failed. So I think I look like I am terrified. And I mean, I had just fallen down. I'm bleeding from my nose, and yeah, you can. Whatever just happened to me, I look pretty terrified.
I'd like to probe your reaction. I don't know how I feel though. Looking at the wheel, which is constantly disappearing apparently.
Are you worried? Curious?
I think I'm more curious to see what's made Gaius so afraid. Like why is he also bleeding from the nose? Because I had this feeling that it's like this emotional thing, and I don't know that Gaius has that sort of ability also. So I kind of want to know why. What is that? Is that
Can be bewildered, which should be scared.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just be scared forever.
Okay, so mark it. Good thing you cleared everything.
Oh. That's a 12.
I mean, I suffered the exact same injury you did.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to get to the conclusion that I got hit with an emotional blast like you did, but I'm less capable of handling it because I don't have your training and your abilities. This is what happens if somebody who doesn't have your power gets it.
Yeah, I think you can get that without using a question. But you
Mhm.
get that. Well, I don't know what Gaius seen or felt, but he got into contact with the flow, and
Right. And he's not used to it.
no, he can. Yeah, he should not even be able to, for obvious reasons, as you can see the state he is in. And now you can get to ask the 3 questions.
Okay. I guess what are you really some of these questions are like I feel like I know the answer to. So let's do. Are you telling the truth?
No,
Complicated
I'm
question.
lying by omission.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
I'm holding information back.
Yeah, you're holding something back.
I am clearly so afraid. I don't even want to voice.
You don't want to tell us, right? What do you intend to do with this thing that you're scared of? All these questions are like connected. Is that just like, do you intend to go off on your own? And
what I'm thinking Gaius is planning to do is investigate the proximity of Purpose's sanctuary so I can locate the shadow that I never felt before.
okay.
I'm going to need to find out what it is.
So it's like you have the gleam of a mystery in your eye or something. Yeah. I can sense. And then,
but
oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry, but still I'm afraid.
Right.
Right.
And then the last question is, what do you wish that I'd do?
Make the headache stop. Like,
If I knew how to do that, I would do it to myself. But okay, cool, thanks.
So, first point of order, Gaius, you know that while you are here, the thing is still looking at you. Are you going to linger here much longer, or are you getting the fuck out?
I think I've had enough of being in here. So yeah, I'm gonna get out.
So you disperse it, and suddenly you stand there before a very worried Alan that just saw its cellar become its own self-contained plane of existence. Now he comes back and there is the dead body and 2 very severely hurt. Actually, that's the thing. Alan is quite confident he saw a glimpse of a dead body, but instead there's only a pile of melted metal and ichor. And I think we're gonna end up here. So let's go through the XP. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because there is a lot of beliefs that got messed up here. So let's go to that. So you get 2 XP if the belief got you in trouble, and 1 XP if it was challenged. And if it was changed after being tested, then you mark 3 XP. So let's go through character to character. So let's go with Gaius. A deal is a deal. I like to uncover secrets. I deserve to win after work.
And I'm muted, sorry. So was it challenged, or what was the other?
Challenge
It was
in trouble, or was challenged it and resolve it, and you're not gonna need a new one. Those are the three options.
I like to unwind after work. I think definitely got me into some trouble.
Yeah, definitely. As well as
I
your
think,
curiosity.
yeah, because I kept poking into something that I didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
And deal is a deal. So now with this one, I was advocating for Luke because I felt that his deal had already taken place. And
yeah, I think it was tested. So I think
it was tested, but it didn't. None of them were resolved where I feel like they don't apply anymore.
yeah, 2 got you in
So that's
trouble, 1 was
3.
tested. It's 5. You get 5 XP.
I get 5 XP.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
get.
what happens with a total of 7 XP then?
You don't have a total of 7 because when you get 5, you have to get an advance. So you get 1 advance and 2 XP.
Oh, so I keep it at 2 and pick an advance.
So you get an advance and 2 XP. That's your total. Next is going to be Ligaya. So those beliefs.
I think that definitely I should help people navigate their emotions. At least got tested. I don't know if it got me into trouble.
It got other people into trouble.
Yeah, it got other people into trouble. So I think that's probably just a 1 for that one. People are ruled by their emotions.
Tricky.
I can see that maybe that got me into trouble because I relied so much heavily on like emotional reading that I did get the like feedback from reading Luke's mind.
Yeah, and that you did not try to convince the other people instead of him. You try to manipulate their emotions and trying to guide them to do the right thing there.
Yeah.
At last, that one got you in trouble.
And then I don't really think, I mean, I need to keep my emotions under control and not be an emotional burden to others. Well, Ligaya is just like stealing everyone's emotions, but
also you lost control of your emotion because
it's true.
You ruled by your fear.
Yeah, I'm very good at being scared.
So, do you think you broke that one?
I think so. I was not I was not keeping my emotions under control at all. So I should change this one probably.
Yeah. So delete that, and next session you get.
We'll come up with a new one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 6 XP.
Yep, which is actually 1 plus an advance.
Yeah. Also, did you not had 3 before?
I had 3 before, yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 plus 3 is 6?
No, you got 6 now.
Oh yeah, but then I have an advance, so I took it back down to 1. Because an advance is 5?
No. You had 3 from previous sessions, 6 from this one, so you have a total.
Oh.
So you have an advance and 4.
Is it because having to change mine is 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. There you go.
Yeah. And next we have our Honorbound, which also pretty much hit everything. So
yeah. So let me get this straight, just to understand out of character what we found out. So Purpose is the last survivor of her order. And the reason that's the case is because a year ago, Vic accidentally killed Another member of her order, not knowing why. Meanwhile, Vic is good friends with Purpose and in fact trained her to defend herself and protects her and so on and so on. So, yeah, go on, sorry.
I will not say that it was accidental. I will say Vic does not remember now. But
okay.
Probably what happened is because the order fundamentally challenges the principles of Vel contracts in which open wage society is built upon.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Vic found out something that Luke was doing that was part of the order beliefs that was a clear challenge to the society.
So the situation Vic is now in is it's just starting to dawn on him again that his because he's like fundamentally very conservative, like socially conservative, right? He thinks that society has these systems and blah blah blah, and he has to protect them. And he's finding out that now conflicts with his role to like be nice to his friends, and also that he himself personally messed it up early on. Okay, right. So I was understanding it correctly. So I do not have freedom to choose which rules to enforce and which to neglect. I am bound by duty. I think this one is definitely at least challenged. I'm not sure yet whether he's retreated from it, but it seems like now
the whole situation is because of this.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's feeling like I don't know, like, yeah, maybe I've been wrong about that. Maybe I should have been applying my brain a bit more.
Or maybe not just I need to correct what I've been doing wrong these last
days. And I'm not sure which way he's going to go yet, right? So therefore, I think that's a 2, right? That's it, because that's challenging.
Now, next session, you probably have to make a decision.
Yeah, sure. I hope,
So
are you sorry.
Decided the iconoclasts and take out Purpose?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Because so far I haven't had to decide. I haven't had to choose because I haven't realized that they're in conflict, and now I'm gonna have to decide which way to go.
Honestly, I think Ligaya is also going to be having that issue, figuring out which one is better.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's something to look forward to.
Gaius has to make that choice, but Marco's all about anarchy. So.
One of the
let's break down society. I'm all about it.
One of Ligaia's things is her burden, which is like for the benefit of humanity. And I don't know if like the iconoclast being in control or Pearl's order being in control is better. Like just chop away the veil. That's clearly what we need.
Yeah, because there seems to be something creepy related to Purpose Order. Just ask Gaius.
They're all creepy.
There doesn't seem to be any part of the world that hasn't got something creepy about it so far. So, I mean, that's not really a very helpful criterion. Oh, I just liked it when it was the people would just make promises and then keep them. If they didn't keep them, I would kill them, and it was easy. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Second one, I do not work in the shadows. Justice must be seen to be done. I don't know about this one either.
Well, I think at least it's worth one because it was tested. Because you call handle this privately, but hey, you make a public call out. You try to rally the public against Luke, and you got civilians involved. So that was tested at least.
Sure, I think I can imagine maybe in the next session that might also be really challenged. Depending on which way I go. Okay, cool. So fine.
Maybe you start doing secret dealings and secret killings.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I will never make too close a friend in case one day I have to enforce an obligation against them. It's clear like that I actually did. I now realize that's exactly what I did. So and also like I feel like my friendship with Ligaya and Gaius and probably Purpose is actually turning out to be of value to Vic. Like I was standing in that situation where if it hadn't been for Ligaya and Gaius, actually, I would have probably just smashed a hole in the wall and made things much worse. So I don't.
You probably would have killed Luke, and then Luke would be again and kill Luke again and stack on.
Right,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
it's kind of resolve it because now you see the benefits of
I
friendship.
think it's resolved, but I don't know how, what the hell I replace that with.
Yeah. So get a 3.
And then next time we find out what I think about friendship. Or belief about friendship.
Yeah. So that's 6 XP. So
That's
1
6.
advanced and 1 XP.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay. And before we go, let's do. I'll end broadcast and let's do